What's going on, y'all? It's Tyrell here, and today we are talking about what if Naruto was Shadow the Hedgehog. This what if was suggested by Melody Vibes. So Melody, this what if is out to you. If you guys want me to do a part 2, we want to get 5 likes on this video, and I'll do another second what if. And after this one, I'm still continuing the what if Naruto was neglected and had the Seiju on. So yeah, let's begin. Danzo and Minato are in the room with a baby on the bed. Danzo would smile as Minato looks at it in disgust. Danzo would then yell, "Yes, the greatest creation known to the shinobi world." Minato would then slightly smile as he realizes he's gonna take care of this child, his own son, even though he didn't make him. Yes, this shall be the best weapon. With his Sharingan, Byakugan, and Rinnegan, he would be the greatest weapon known to the Leaf Village. We can finally take control of this whole shinobi world. Minato would then look at Danzo. In this series, Minato did see the Nine Tails inside him, and the Nine Tails didn't kill Minato and or his mother and his wife. His eyes will start glowing red. You're not going to do anything to him. And you're not, especially not going to do anything to the other villages. We already roughly are at peace. Nothing to destroy it. Danzo would then say, "Come on, look at him. How are you going to just sit here telling me to do all this work and not want us to use the weapon we could always use? He is stronger than any tail beast we ever had. Especially that rotten Nine Tails. He is different. He is more. Come on. He has the best dojutsus known to man inside his blood. He is not only Uchiha, but he's Hyuga. He now can learn the gentle fist arts and martial arts. Come on, Minato, just give me this one." Minato's eyes would glow even brighter red. "I said you're not going to use him as a weapon to destroy this world that is peaceful. He's going to be able to choose his own path, able to forge it." And then Danzo, in anger, yells at Minato, "Well, what if he finds out that he's just a monster, a being created by other humans and not in a natural way? What if he finds out that he was made to be a weapon of mass destruction?" Minato would then say, "Well, I'll wait until that day comes, but for now we're not telling him shit." And looks at Danzo and says, "If you do tell him, I'll have to execute you for betraying the Leaf Village." Minato is more serious in this series, rather than being lighthearted thanks to Naruto. We open up 12 years later. Our Naruto that we normally would see is different. He had black hair and red hair on his side, with red eyebrows and red eyes, and the darkest pupils anyone ever saw. He would be walking around the village. He is still happy-go-lucky thanks to Minato and knows a few tricks, like the flying Raijin, but people would call him the Red Flash because each time he used it, a red blur would come behind him. He also learned how to burst all of his chakra out. He always called it Chaotic Burst, as it was the best name he could ever think of. He goes to his school as he is doing well. The teams are assigned as Naruto is a shinobi now. Every team is like normal, Team 7, and everybody still fangirls over Sasuke. Sasuke, each time he was near Naruto, got a vibe. It's weird sense that he was an Uchiha, but it couldn't be true since he was the 4th Hokage's son, Namikaze. Hinata would feel this way, and Hinata and Neji would also kind of feel that same vibe that he should be part of their family. Their chakras are so similar, but they're not because he's a Namikaze. It was just weird. And it was only them that got that vibe from Naruto. Naruto wouldn't get that vibe from anybody else. Even though he was still kind of happy, he always felt off about himself. Like he wasn't normal at all. He always was told that he had giant chakra and that he can do so much for the world, but he never really got to show it to himself or to anyone else. Naruto on his first assignment with Kakashi, the bell test. Now, thanks to Minato kinda spoiling the bell test that it is teamwork, he was also told that he wasn't allowed to tell anyone else and that they had to figure it out for themselves. Naruto likely originally charged at Kakashi, but then he would use his chaotic burst. So Naruto would then tell Sasuke and Sakura to go hide in the bushes. It's the best chance of them beating this challenge. And Naruto would distract Kakashi using his flying Raijin over and over again, spamming it. This is the most Kakashi's ever seen. Even the fourth Hokage couldn't do it this much, let alone this fast. It almost seemed like Naruto was at multiple places at once, but he knew they weren't shadow clones. Naruto was recognized as probably faster than his father, which means that he would be the fastest ninja in the world. But it didn't mean he was stronger than his father. Each time he uses chaotic burst, it always just give it like a giant gust of wind to Kakashi relative to his surroundings. Thanks to Naruto having the Byakugan in his eyes, he would get brief glimpses of Kakashi's chakra points when he's fighting. He doesn't know why, as no one told him his whole life, but Kakashi does know why. He was the only one that was allowed to know. Because of this, Naruto would be able to strike chakra points almost to perfection, as these brief glimpses seemed like eternity to him. But he knew it wasn't gonna last long. He jumps back into the wood as Kakashi's out in the open. Naruto does meet with Sasuke and Sakura, and Sasuke would say that there is no way I'm working with you. And Naruto says, but the key is working together, dummy. Sakura didn't jump into Sasuke's defense. Who are you calling the dummy, huh? And Naruto looks at Sakura with his eyes a bit glowing and asks Sakura if he has a problem. She shuts up, like automatically shuts up, and follows with what Naruto says. He then looks at Sakura and Sasuke and says, look, it's 2 bells, but there's 3 of us. How the hell are there then teams of 3 if there's only 2 bells? This is teamwork. That's the point. That's important. Sasuke would then say, of course you know this. Your father's the Hokage. And Naruto would then smile and say, nope, I figured this out myself. I just saw other people do it. It was always seemed off to me that most people always went on their own. Teamwork always seemed like the real option. Besides, what, you're just gonna let your friends die? Sasuke would then have this odd respect for Naruto. I mean, then again, he always got that Uchiha vibe in him. Naruto would then look at Sasuke and say, listen, we have to do this together somehow. And then says that you two need to get the bells. I'm okay if I don't. And Naruto would then run out the forest and charge at Kakashi again. This time he uses the Shadow Clone Jutsu and then a transformation jutsu to a shuriken. But this is fast enough for Kakashi for it to look like it's just a regular shuriken, but Kakashi does really know what it is. He grabs the shuriken and nothing happens, and then there's another shuriken right behind him that transforms to Naruto and kicks Kakashi's back. After this, it disappears and Naruto uses flying Raijin to teleport to the shuriken and try and sweep Kakashi on his feet as he's falling. While this is happening, Kakashi just does a simple front flip to dodge it. But because of this, Sasuke would then use his fire style fireball jutsu and Kakashi would dodge the Sakura, would charge up with a punch, but the punch isn't strong enough. It's chakra filled, but it's not strong enough. She uses a shadow clone and throws herself at Kakashi to gain a better momentum, and Kakashi's getting pressed, but he isn't sweating, obviously. Naruto's the only one that can honestly give him a challenge. Naruto would spam the flying raging technique, and again, looks like he's in multiple places at once when he really is not. And he's clearly not even using the shadow clone as they would be really visible. These look blurry. Sasuke would be at all at this, but reminded the main objective. Kakashi is too busy focusing on other Naruto's. Naruto would continue in a slight pattern, but so slight it's unnoticeable. Sasuke realizes this with a shotgun gun and charges straight for the bell. Grabs one. Kakashi's at all that this team's doing good so far, but Sakura, she can't notice the pattern. It's getting annoying to almost everybody else except for her. So Naruto tries to make it easier and doesn't spam the flying ranging technique anymore. And instead puts a mark on Kakashi's back. After this, he teleports Kakashi to a random tree that he marked earlier and tells Sakura to go run at it. And then we can have the element of surprise. Naruto would then charge at Kakashi again, so Sasuke can get a jump at him, and he yells chaotic burst. This blows away some trees, but Kakashi is clearly staring at his ground. And then Sakura throws a kunai at him, right in front of him. Yeah. Kakashi goes after Sakura after knocking down Naruto, and Sakura has to go face Kakashi. He tries using a getting attack, but Naruto with a mark on Sakura's back teleports behind her, and then kicks Kakashi down. This Kakashi does go with it because he doesn't want to actually, give him as much of a challenge as unnecessary, and teleports to the kunai that Sakura guy and grabs Kakashi's feet and slams it. Not just as he yells, "Now, idiot!" and Sakura charges at the bell and grabs it. Kakashi would then say, "Well, what about your other bell, huh?" Naruto says, "Well, the objective was to grab two. Why would you need another one if the only objective was two, huh?" Kakashi says, "Alright, fine, you guys pass. You guys learned the most important thing, teamwork. Almost everyone gets this wrong. Because of this, they'll walk home triumphantly, and with full stomachs. Because of this, Sasuke is really impressed with Naruto, and he still gets that vibe that he's an Uchiha, especially now. He reminds him of Itachi and how he always seemed to be the wiser and smarter one, and because of that thought, it kind of angered him what Itachi did to the village and all. Itachi is not around anymore. Like I said, the attack on the Uchiha is still a thing, even though Minato really, really didn't like it. Naruto looks at Sasuke and goes up to Sasuke and looks at him dead in the eye and says, "It's not his fault." Sasuke would then question, "Wait, what do you mean, you nerd?" And Naruto would look at him and say, "Itachi, it's not his fault," and would continue walking. Sasuke and Blind Runners would ask, "How the hell would you ever know about that, huh? You probably have a nice family. There's no way you know what I'm going through." Naruto would look at Sasuke and say, "Yeah, I don't know. But what I do know is that, well, it wasn't really his fault. I can't tell you exactly why I know this. Because if I did, well, Dad would be really mad at me." And he explained that he went into some files about the Uchiha attack and found out that Itachi did it to save the village and spared Sasuke to save him too. Naruto would then tell Sasuke this. "Listen, Sasuke, Itachi did it to protect you. Why else would he spare you instead of anyone else? Why wouldn't he just kill you? Kind of shows that, well, there were some flaws in what he was doing, huh? Sasuke then run off, now confused at everything, especially what Naruto told him, and he believed him because Naruto is the son of the Hokage. Of course, he'd know something about this, something this large, something that happened that large. He's running, and tears start downing his face as he remembers Itachi, and he even remembers how happy he was, and how happy he was as a person, how good he was. So he starts rationing out, like, maybe he did it for a good reason. And obviously, he loved him, so this sent Sasuke for a loop and changed him for the rest of the series. Sakura would yell at Naruto for making Sasuke cry and start punching at his chest, but Naruto just takes it. He doesn't really care a lot, and then just uses a flying Raiji to get away. Sakura is now all alone and chases after Sasuke. Naruto is walking through town. There wasn't a lot of missions that week, and he was just really bored. And he straight up just goes to Sasuke's house. What do you want? And Naruto says, hey, listen, I'm bored. Do you want to get some training in? And Sasuke would say yes. He would do anything for training. He actually enjoyed that. And they do a lot of sparring with Hinata spying on them, especially Naruto. And Sakura is spying for Sasuke, but Sasuke points her out and makes him watch and says that she has to spar too. Hinata then gets surprised. The fighting style that Naruto is doing, the gentle fist. Sasuke doesn't know the gentle fist, neither does Sakura, and nobody's around to identify it. Naruto is just doing this on instinct. For him, this is his regular combat style for sparring and or taking an opponent swiftly. He always found it weird. He didn't get glimpses of Sasuke's chakra points though, as he didn't feel like it was actually necessary. His body didn't, at least. His body knew his Sasuke was an ally. As this goes on, Sasuke then reminds Naruto about the Chunin exams and how they're going to get prepared for it. Naruto's like, yeah, well, isn't this the way? I mean, I do love sparring with you. You're the one that can catch up. And Sakura does take this as a blow to her, as Sakura was kind of useless and needed someone to lead her. This sets Sakura off and pretty much makes her strive to be greater than a useless piece of trash. So, yeah. And after the sparring for a bit, they practice jutsus. Sasuke asks about the flying riding, and Naruto says it's really hard and it's S tier. The only reason why he's able to is because his dad taught him. But maybe I can get my dad to teach you too. It'd be really useful in our team. Besides, you doing a flying range then a fireball jutsu would be awesome. Naruto would then show Sasuke one thing they didn't show in the original battle. Naruto tells Sasuke that he doesn't show a lot of people this, and shows him the Rasengan. Sasuke is in awe at this, and wants to learn it too, but Naruto says, nah, I can't teach you, I'm not allowed to. Besides, it's really complicated and I kind of forgot how to. But, like I said, my dad could teach you. I could ask him. And then they go home for the night. But Sasuke and Naruto do split, and Naruto's now alone. It is really dark, and some bandits think they can just rob him. Well, I mean, obviously they couldn't. The second they even tried, they were knocked out before Naruto used the gentle fist. Because this Hinata calls him out, like, from the bushes, legitly. And yells at Naruto and asks him does he even know the gentle fist style. And then she backs up and says she didn't really mean by it, though. Naruto says, don't worry, I didn't take it as a mean thing. What do you mean by gentle fist? And Hinata kind of admits of spying on Naruto and saying that she was watching Naruto and Sasuke fight, but the fighting style you were using is a gentle fist style. Naruto is confused and says, I just do that on instinct. I don't never knew it was an actual fighting type. And Hinata this sets up Hinata a little bit and asks Naruto if he can see some like blue dots on someone's body and strains, almost like a vanished body. Naruto then would say, yeah, sometimes my eyes would flicker like that and I can get quick glances. And Naruto's like, wait, are you part of the Hyuga clan? And Naruto would ask, no, I'm obviously a Nabekaze. And Naruto would say, well, you have a Byakugan. It allows you to see chakra points. Naruto would get confused and say, what the hell is a Byakugan? And Naruto shows him, saying that she can see all of his chakra points and gasps. Like, she was really surprised. He has so many. Normally, someone would probably have 120 or something like that, but Naruto, he was a beast. His whole body was just looked like a chakra point. They were also just powerful too. It wasn't like these were little chakra points that had little chakra. No, Naruto had a lot of potential. This kind of scares Hinata, but she doesn't show that she's scared. In fact, she tells Naruto that she looks like he's a really strong person. And Naruto would say thanks, I guess, and starts walking home. Naruto at dinner would ask his father, "Hey, Dad, what's up? What's up with Byakugan?" Into would choke and say, "Oh, it's a dojutsu." And he would ask, "What's a dojutsu?" It's like it's a special eye trait, special clan members get, and why are you asking me, son? It's like, well, Hinata Hyuga was asking if I could see chakra points. She said something about me using the gentle fist style, and I guess it creeped her out a little. I don't know. And she asked if I can see chakra points, and I'm like, well, yeah, I can. And she asked if I was a Hyuga. Like, and Naruto would look at his father. What? Do I have the Byakugan? And Minato would say, "Well, you have a variant, I guess." And it's like, "Wait, do I have a bloodline trait? What about yours or mom's?" And Minato would say, "Well, I don't have one, and neither does your mother." And Naruto's like, "Wait, so you cheated?" And even Naruto's mom was like, "Oh, no, 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 honey, he never cheated." She was there for the whole thing that went down, and Danzo gathering the genes of many other warriors. It's like, well, then what am I? This was the question Minato was scared of. That question riled him, and he never wanted to answer it. Never thought he had to. Or never thought he would. It's you're my son, so. And Naruto's like, well, obviously I'm not biologically related to you since you're not giving me a straight answer. Naruto's Steve's mask. Wait, am I a monster? What else do I not know about me? Minato would then have a saddened face. Just like, tell me everything about me. Minato would explain everything. Danzo, gathering genes, and all. And Naruto would get on a rampage. All this power, and he passes out. Danzo for Genjutsu. Danzo would then explain this Genjutsu would make Naruto think everything was a dream, and nothing of it is real. He can protect his secret a little bit longer. And Minato's wife is saying that this is hurting Naruto. We should just tell him straight up. And Minato would say, did you just see his reaction? Oh, I'm just afraid of what he'd do when he get older. Death, everything. How angry he would be at us. I don't want that. Naruto's not need to know yet. We'll explain to him later. We open up tomorrow. Naruto's in bed, thinking everything last night was a dream. He asks about the Hyuga and says, "Oh, do you have a Byakugan? You don't." And the chakra points, I guess, was just a gift given by God. Naruto believes this and goes on his day. He has glimpses of that night, though, in his back of his mind, but they don't play, thanks to the dojutsu lasting for a bit. The next mission was the Land of Waves, and they get sent like normal. Everything pretty much happens in normal. Naruto's more confident. The original Cloud bandits don't get to Naruto. He actually protects the builder. He doesn't get caught security cat, and he does get to the building site. Pretty much everything normal happens. They get to the kid and asks, pretty much is just mad. All of them trying to do this training to be somewhat of heroes, and Naruto doesn't get as mad, but something inside him does. Something inside him always got mad when someone talked about losing someone. Naruto wouldn't take it that much, but Sasuke definitely would. And Sasuke would pretty much tell him, "You don't understand what true pain is when you lose everyone you know and love." Naruto would feel this, but would then calm Sasuke down as he realizes the Sharingan's open and tells Sasuke that we should go train outside. And Naruto uses the gentle fist. Kakashi automatically realizes it, but says nothing, realizing what happened last time. Anyone mentioned it to him. And they continued training. After that, the bridge building incident. Zabuza shows up. Like in the original, Zabuza showed up, but it happened almost the same thing. Naruto didn't use the flying raging because he really couldn't. He never marked Kakashi. But Naruto wakes up late as usual, runs out, sees the bandits, and he marked the boy last night. And he uses the flying raging to save the boy's mother and the boy. And knocks out the two guys. So everything is chill for now. And since he marked Sakura, he instantly teleports to where Sakura is, behind the villager. Which Naruto would then go beside Sakura and say, "Don't worry, Sakura, I'm right here." And Sakura will be like, "Oh, now I'm even more worried. You're gonna ruin up everything." And sees Sasuke having a hard time. Naruto had an idea, although be a stupid one. He throws a kunai at Haku, and like the original, he just uses the flying raging and teleports inside there. Then he uses the flying raging again and teleports Sasuke to Sakura. Now Naruto's trapped. A good old switcheroo. And Naruto says, "Wow, you did in a circle. It's just perfect for this move." Says, then he yells, "Chaotic burst." But this is he has to gather all the energy he can muster. Pretty much most of the chakra in his body had to be used to shatter every mirror. And Haku gets thrown out of it. And Haku's knocked out, straight up. And Zabuza is a bit worried. Naruto had to use one attack to defeat his right-hand man. And Zabuza is stuck. Kakashi's pressing him, and pretty much everybody's pressing him. And the mob gangster thing, the douchebag, he shows up and pretty much tells Zabuza that Haku is useless and commands Zabuza to either win or die. Doesn't really care, doesn't change anything. And Zabuza is stuck. He's really just impressed, and he even kicks Haku. And Haku's just knocked out though. She wakes up and notices Kakashi is gonna use his Chidori. The mob is having a nice time clapping his hands and all, which is really pissing off Naruto. He's just having a good old time, and all of his mobsters there, which was a good intimidation tactic. Before he could pretty much Kakashi Chidori's Haku, and she dies. Zabuza sees his weapon die. Doesn't send him on a rage, but sooner or later Zabuza has to die somehow. Naruto tells Zabuza if that was his friend, he would kill everyone. I don't know why you don't kill the mobster. It's easy. You'll be saving so many lives. Zabuza says, I have to get the rent done in any way possible. And Naruto doesn't kill him, but he looks at him in disgust. Puts his hand on Zabuza's chest and said, this is a technique I never wanted to use. It's the worst one I ever made. And then he uses a genjutsu. Genjutsu sees him and Zabuza sitting on a bench, looking at the sunset. Zabuza kneels down, and Naruto's hand is on his forehead, with the genjutsu still on, giving him a peaceful death, and says, peace, chaotic death. Now, it's like his chaotic burst, only he focuses all the energy inside someone, and when it bursts, they burst open. Like, blood shoots everywhere. It's a technique he never wanted to use ever. And he killed Zabuza. His eyes glowing red. And Zabuza's last memories were with him and Haku. He just was happy. Naruto looks at the mobster and says, this is all your fault. And Naruto says, flying Raijin, chaotic death, and kills the entire mobster army. And looks at the main guy and says, you don't deserve a peaceful one. And just shoves his hand into his face and says, chaotic Rasengan, which destroys his face. And he's dead. But he felt the every inch, every molecule just getting twisted and turned. Everybody was scared of Naruto, and Naruto looked back. There was a tomoe in his eye. In both of them, at least. Veins going around his eyes, too, so he saw the chakra points, everything. Sasuke being in disbelief. How could this brat ever attain a Sharingan? Kakashi's more scared of Naruto as he could kill anyone he wanted. And he is the ultimate weapon, like Danzo said. Sasuke would run at Naruto, grab him by his shirt and say, how the hell do you have a Sharingan? How? How could it be you? How could it be ever you? You're not even Uchiha. Naruto looks like Sasuke. The tomoe has disappeared. What do you mean Sharingan? What is that? And this is where we're ending off part 1. Oh my god. Next part is what if Naruto was neglected, part 6. And I might even do whatever, literally, if you have anything you want, if you want me to do any what if, just comment down below. Let's get 5 likes on this one. If we get 5 likes, I'll instantly do the next part. Goodbye. I love you all.